Now, most of you people don't even understand what exactly you are looking at when you're looking at politicians inside of the European Union, such as Ursula von der Leyen, inside of the Brussels. Big shots from the Strasbourg, from the European Union Court for Human Rights. Most of you don't even understand what the fuck you're looking at. Yeah, it kind of bothers me for people to go really like a goats, like a ship, into complete oblivion. It does. It started to bite me, this stuff. It started to bother me. I must admit this to you. The best way for me to demonstrate is through the video I just created in respect to the hard drive from China. This MK Ultra case, this picking on me, this psychiatry which Germans enforced against me since my earliest childhood, together with their Russian, Slovenian, Serbian partners, British partners, American partners, had a good reason. It's a very, very, very good. It was the most, so far, the most lucrative German, I would say, business that Germany have made since the World War II. I am referring to this business here, this kind of business. I am referring to this kind of business here. I'm referring to this kind of business here. It's a business unlike any other that you have seen. It's a mega Deutsche business. And don't expect one to stop anytime soon. As Germany upshifted the Scheiß economy that we have going on, like the one that I exposed, especially in this video here that you can see. But you can see this stuff all over my blog. It's about to get worse and worse and worse and bite more and more. Inside of the European Union, corruption, organized crime, you can call it Illuminati crime if you like, self-sabotaging and sabotaging is at all-time high because of this stuff here. Based on my example, I have lost at least 30 days, 16 hours a day, doing my best to substitute the theft of the telephone, of a single telephone, and the issues pertaining to hard drive, saving, the ability to save data. And I told you, in the United States of America, this is just not the case. The politicians function, not the politicians, but the country itself does not allow politicians to get the most out of the poorest, the most exposed, the most vulnerable people. That's one thing. They don't allow that. They don't allow any of that stuff. Germans don't allow that either. If you watch this video here I expose, they don't allow either this to happen to their own people. Where to, at least in spite of even my American, I demonstrate right at the end of this video, they don't allow that either. They have their economic map of the European Union. You're going to see in their countries, they make a whole lot of money. They don't want their citizens to become demented animals. They want others to become demented animals. They want to control others. They want absolute control over the rest of the population. They don't want their people to turn into animals. They don't want their people to turn into animals like they did to me, based on my example. That's why I told you, I was the biggest Gesellschaft, the biggest business, the biggest money for the Deutschland since the World War II. And the consequences of this business can be seen throughout the Europe today, with Ukrainians bleeding. You're gonna see. You're gonna see. You're gonna see. When the war, in a parenthesis, ends in Ukraine, when the Russians get there, Molotov, Ribbentrop piece of cake. Yeah, when the Russians get their Ribbentrop-Molotov piece of cake, you're gonna see. The prices for the hard drives, telephones, all kinds of stuff, they're gonna stagnate down. They're gonna stagnate down. Therefore, they regulate society through depression. And they get it done through those that are the most vulnerable. They search for the people to sicken them, to make them mentally sick, ill. No such thing. No such thing. Watch this video. It's a very good video. No such thing in the United States of America. They don't allow that. We don't have this kind of economy. Yeah, you're gonna see it. When the war ends, everything is gonna alles positive. Alles positive. Right now is where we're gonna get the money. Where are we gonna get the money? Where is the money? The money, where we gonna get money? How we gonna the money? The money. And what they do is they fuck people in their ass throughout the Europe. If they war in Ukraine, the Ukrainians take everything. You know, that would not be the case. He would not go after the people in their ass and fuck them, fuck their sanity out of their brain. But that is a Gesellschaft. This is a part of the business. This is how the business is done. This is Deutschland. Yes, this is Deutschland. This is the way that's based on my case, what you can do to human being, that you can regulate entire economy, entire continent. That's what this is. This is a bloody chew. This is the way this stuff goes. That you will not have this shit by any chance in the US. Even with Donald Trump, no. Not even Donald Trump is worth turning normal people into animals. They don't allow that. It's other people who control the state, not only Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a clown for other clowns that are hiding behind. Let me give you an example how that looks like. Let me demonstrate to you. Just got to go like this. You click the VPN like this and you transfer to the US. Like this. Now we look like we are from the US. And there you go. Right on the top you have it, right like this. Actually, there is this thing that's also added to the... See it? You see this? What it says right there, right on the top? Shopping, it says. Normal thing. They don't want people to waste time. They don't want people to go fucking, like I did, 6 months. Going fucking insane. 3/4 insane. They don't want to do that stuff. Have Germans for that stuff inside of the European Union. With their Russo-Serbian Slovenian partners. To do the Walt Disney of lunacy out on open. They don't do that to their own people, like I said. In the US, if you need a hard drive, you go like this, and you may actually even click here, right on the top of it, it says shopping. Or you might just go and you might scroll down like this. What the fuck is life other than about the shopping? Fulfilling your needs. What? What are the greater needs other than underwear, shoes, pants, shirts, t-shirts, basically something that you put on your skin, cotton shirts, telephone. Can you be without a telephone? Can you be without a telephone? I don't think you can be without a telephone. Today, the internet is a must, so that's probably a smartphone, not a telephone. Hard drive? Hard drive is a bare necessity. Hard drive is a bare necessity. It's like a telephone. It's the same shit. You have hard drives that you go, you purchase because you need the data saved someplace. Just like a telephone, you have expensive ones that cost a few thousand of euros, whatever. And you also have, for the regular mortals. But they make sure that these regular mortals, below the average people, don't turn into a lunatics on open. Because they know what that means. If you want to run economy, then you have to make sure that your people don't get mentally ill. And so, if you're looking for a hard drive, you can go just about at any location to get yourself one. If I go here, they're not going to allow me to get in. They know what the VPN is. They know what proxy is. They're not going to allow me to get in. It's a Best Buy store. They're not going to allow me to get in. It's going to ask me blah, 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 all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to get in. Not for too long, at least. And this is not a prime example. But these are big stores. They're available in every city in the US. There's no city in the US that would not have this kind of, okay, let's just say 50,000 people, something, that they would not have this kind of stores. They're all over the US, everywhere. They're accessible to you absolutely anywhere in the US. Hey, this is not go to glorify United States. I'm not here to glorify United States. United States is part of this shit. But does not allow for people to be affected with a crap. And there you go. There's no way to go and look for, price-wise for this stuff. You can't get anywhere. But you have this shit, you have all over the place. You can go, you just go and you pick it up. You don't go drive yourself crazy over the effing hard drive or a smartphone or something like that. You don't do that, man. You don't do this kind of stuff. You go here, you choose what is it the hell you want, and they do this with a brand. They give you a brand. They don't give you some shit that, let's just go 2 to 4 terabytes, because who normal the fuck goes out there today and is searching for the 1 terabyte external hard drive? Normal not. Poor, exhausted, yes. Normal not. Nobody's doing that shit. Why would anybody go out there and pile shit, basically? Why the hell would you do that for? Now what I have here. Let's see if we can get something for 70 bucks. They advertise some brands that I would not even consider. Still better than Somnambulist, but Western Drive, my passport portable, I don't know about any of that stuff. When it's something suspiciously cheap and shit, you just keep that stuff. Nobody wants that kind of stuff. We're not here to get the cheapest stuff. If you can go to the eBay, whatever it is that you go, 2 terabytes hard drives, Western drive, Toshiba Convio Advanced plus 2 terabytes, $64. You got it all over the place. You got a Western drive 2 terabyte at the Walmart, and the problem is solved more or less. Really, I would not be looking for less than 4 terabytes. In a normal world, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't be doing this shit. I just purchased this to buy a little bit more time to finish my project. That's all I did. Under normal circumstances, 1 terabyte, to go buy yourself 1 terabyte, I would say you're fucking crazy, man. You're not okay. You're not in the right state of mind, man. Not for my taste. But I had no money, and I needed a smartphone. And to get the smartphone and hard drive and all that shit, just somewhere that you can meet the sanity in between, yeah, man, you have to go and you have to do that. Look, they actually have a Temu here, 4 terabyte external hard drive for 35 euros, 2 terabytes, and I paid for 1 terabyte 35 euros. Anyhow, these are not really the best deals, like I said, but you have, God forbid you would get yourself in a shit like I did. $62 for the Western drive, new hard drive. That's not bad at all, you know. I'm going to take this VPN off. Think about when you see next time Ursula von der Leyen, when you see garbage from the European Union Parliament, when you see that Brussels garbage, when you see the Strasbourg scum, when you see this apparatchiks Europeans, Euro garbage, when you see them, think about what you see here with your eyes right now. They make sure that those most vulnerable would not become insane. To me, that's a pretty big damn deal. This is weird. In the US, they don't allow this kind of stuff. They don't allow this stuff. You go to the store and you buy yourself shit. You need it, you go and take it. If you have more money, if you have a lot of extra money, then yeah, then you can go and you can buy yourself shit. It is the same thing as with a transport. You need a transport, you need something to drive, you need something that's going to make a difference for you, then that's exactly what you do. He's going to let me in or what the fuck? Weird, because I keep hold of that stuff. I keep hold of it, and it gives you even the check mark, and it will just not let you go through. That's weird. Yeah, that's really weird. That's fucking weird. That's really weird. You see right there, it says at the top, blocked. Why the fuck are they so paranoid about this stuff? What the hell is such a paranoia about this, all this? Let's go. We're gonna try this baby here again. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna reset this shit here. We're gonna do it again. It looks like some kind of paranoia. They don't want to see what people can in other countries. They don't want to see that stuff. It's a big difference if you get paid 5,000 euros per month or you get no fucking money at all. It's a big difference, trust me, when you go buy something. It's a big difference if you get paid 5,000 euros a month or you get paid, well, 500 euros a month And I think the 500 euros a month, because of circumstances of a man, it's enormously a lot of money. This is what you have done to me. Yes, that's right. So, is this thing gonna let me go to Walmart? It looks like it will. There you go. That's your hard drive right there, buddy. $62. There you go. It's a shit deal. Really, I would not even look at one. But on the other hand, try finding this in the European Union. Try to find it. Actually, in Slovenia, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't matter. Inside of the European Union, on top of it, on top of everything, they have plenty of this shit. The Germans, Dutch, they make sure that they have the stuff. They can offer their people the stuff that they need. They don't want their people to go sick. Well, let's look at the smartphones. So that you're going to see what makes the government, and the next time when you see the garbage inside of the European Union, next time we see the Ursula von der Leyen, when you see it, you see the shit for what it is. You don't see the shit for what is blah 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 blah. Ukraine need in Ukraine. Trust me, when the Russians get their piece of Ribbentrop-Molotov cake, all it's going to go to normal also inside of the European Union. It's going to be, no, not exactly. We're going to give some deals. They're going to throw you some garbage. They're going to throw you a few bones to improve the atmosphere. Be more positive, right? It's about the positive. You go like this and you get yourself for $25 a telephone like this, basically, without going completely insane. You don't have to go and buy yourself from AliExpress, let's say from China, used telephones. 40, 50 euros per piece. You don't have to do that. You go to the store and you buy yourself basically a smartphone. That's a really good smartphone, by the way, in my opinion. But it's just a basic, it's basically what you need. And if you need more than that, then you go and you pay more. Now, is this really basic shit? Listen, I'm going to put it this way, all right? I will not forget the time in the United States of America when I was in the US and I had Germans coming to the US. And, it was all during MKO, they were meeting me, these executives and so on. And it was, you so good, you so cheap, cheap laptop, cheap telephone, cheap this, cheap. I buy myself a laptop, very cheap. This shit is saying garbage like Ursula von der Leyen. Talking about Ursula von der Leyen. You have a bunch of these fucks. They would go on a trip to the USA for free. And then they would scatter all over those Home Depot, actually, yeah, it's a Home Depot, Circuit City, Brand Smart, a bunch of those American stores that you have, Best Buy, Walmart, and so on. They were buying themselves laptops and shit. And the sauerkrauts were just not shut their fucking mouth. Yeah, it's so good, yeah, it's so cheap. And you have, yeah, trust me. You can trust, you can bet me. You can trust, I bet with you. This shit will be completely good for Ursula von der Leyen. Trust me. Trust me, this is what... They're also stingerous. They're so fucking stingerous, these motherfuckers, that they eat their own shit out of their own arses. The fucking sauerkrauts. They eat their own shit out of their own asses, motherfuckers. It's not so bad. It's cheap, My ship is the best. It's not exactly the worst. They don't buy themselves really expensive stuff and so on. They like cheap. They like to steal. And they love to steal from nobody more than from the poor people. Targeted people. That's whom they use to put the negative news about, everything expensive, everything this, everything that. They're going broke. We don't know what the fuck. War in Ukraine. It's Ukraine. Everything is Ukraine. Ukraine is guilty for everything. The economy. Yeah, I am a robot. I'm not a human. Forget it, man. The economy of Donald Trump. You can also smell one right here inside of the European Union. As crazy as sick as it must sound. Ursula von der Leyen, Donald Trump threatened and threatened and threatened me during MK Ultra torture. Just mention something about expensive from China. They were not only selling, they were not only stealing the stuff, they were not only behind the theft. Giving a full support to Slovenian animals in blue, Slovenian police. They also demanded the silence for the robbery. They demanded the robbery, then they demanded another robbery through the purchase through the internet you're gonna go, and then they demanded the fucking silence for all the time lost and for the robbery. Or else, or we will increase even more the taxes. You will see when we will increase even more. Yes, and lately I understand in Belgium, where Ursula von der Leyen is, German Ursula von der Leyen is, they're now paying extra 10 euros more for the mail that arrives from the China. It's because they must probably take a special kind of precautions to handle that mail to their Belgian customers. I'm talking about the Belgian apparatchiks, the inventors of taxation. I'm not against taxation when it comes to the countries, especially that support a Russian invasion on Europe. This isn't about even Ukraine itself. This is about entire Europe. I'm not against it. They're paying 22% on the import to European Union. But, based on my evidence, I was even thrown into the psychiatric hospital, so when I would be giving you this kind of program, it would be doubtful. It would be, maybe not. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's not like this. Maybe it's whatever the fuck it is. The poverty, the Deutschland, the misery is what this is. Frau Misery. You know who the Frau Misery is? Frau Misery is von der Leyen. It goes hand in hand with the poverty. It is a special way to brainwash, to manipulate Europeans into suicidal, give up, surrender mentality for the Germans to get their cake, to get their piece of cake. And as I explained, really, art, I couldn't do better than that. Right here in this video, if you're gonna watch this, the video is directly related to the other video where you can see me open the fucking thing, this misery. United European Union MK Ultra States. United European Psychiatric Union. This is how we're gonna live. Wir sind fish. We are now fish. Like animals. So the German could do their transactions, so they can do their Gesellschaft, their business, so they can melt their money their point of view, their vision, für Europa, für die Welt. Basically taking entire ownership of entire European Union, turning one into the concentration camp on open through the one sole single person. And ever since happily chartered the borders of this European Union based on their own appetite. Think about when you see this piece of shit next time over there inside of the Brussels, when you see animals from Strasbourg that actually, that European Union Commission apparatchiks literally trade not with the human rights, but with the genocides of the European Union citizens. Think about when you see these animals, what is normal and what is nicht normal. Нормальне, what ненормально. Think about what is normal and what is not normal for yourself with your own head next time. Look inside of your wallet. Think about what normal is, what really normal is, what your everyday looks like, what they make out of your dust fish, your life in a fucking aquarium or terrarium. I'm not luring you into a shopping to America. This is not what I'm trying to. This is not what I am about. I'm not trying to do this. I'm not trying to steer you into some kind of American view. That's not what I'm trying to do. This is not what I'm trying to do. But if you were next to me and you were with me, you have these telephones for $30 in America, as many the fuck as you want. You go whatever the hell you want and you buy yourself. And then seriously, man, if you need some extra, whatever the fuck you need, then you go and you buy yourself your fucking extras. You know what I mean? This shit is not going to pay you off. You're ordering this from the US. Remember, you are a subject to 22% DDV. That's additional tax that is not added on the telephone that you see right there itself. But you're going to have to pay also for the mailing services, and this is what going to absolutely rip you off. That's where they're going to totally rip you off. Even worse, when your merchandise is going to arrive from the US broken because of the mishandling or the deliberate handling, because of those forward services might do that, just that. And you're going to have to pay the DDV, the 22% extra on the shipping and on the value of the telephone. This only works for those that travel back and forth. You know, if you would go to the US and then you would go and you would grab yourself that stuff. And I think, I'm not really sure that you would also be a subject to inspection upon your return to the European country, origin or, destination from the US when you would arrive. So this is basically Americans try to make sure that their people would not get mentally ill, which is the primary job of every government. So the next time when you see these poor people of Ukraine, and the next time when you see this politicians over there in the Brussels, please consider what is normal and what is not normal. Finally, the program that you are watching should finally make you understand the level of democracy where the whole thing is heading. Thanks to the Germans, where the whole thing was heading, in my case, is my earliest childhood. As for me, not a fall of the Soviet Union, not a fall of Yugoslavia, no fall of fucking nobody ever make any difference. They sit in your coffin basically with their Russian partners when you're fucking at your butt. Practically, it was in my case. And they don't have no fucking no intention to go any fucking place. They'll fucking sit in that fucking coffin together with their American and British and Chinese and Russian partners while giving you the lesson, the free lesson about the Freiheit, about the freedom, about the neue Europa, für die Welt, about the European army that we need, and the new armament, and all kinds of threats that are out there, while you are actually giving your countries a free away, basically. Think about, when you see next time this babaloos over there from Brussels, you may want to think about this video. You may want to think about how far the Germans have gone to distance to fuck me, basically, to prove me. My being wrong, my being at fault. Think about the German democracy, what the sauerkraut democracy looks now in 2025. As a matter of fact, in my case, it did for last 54 years, with literally nesting me into the psychiatric hospital in Ljubljana, Polje in 2012 through the Slovenian animals. Oh yes, they do. They are in agreement, they do work together, they're more than a good friends, they're governments that work together, and that's exactly what the European Union is. So next time when you talk about the European Union army, and you talk about I don't know what, maybe at least you want to put other people there, maybe you want to solve this case, so you can talk about something, because as of right now, I'm just doing the job instead of Ursula von der Leyen. Just like those telephones over there, eventually they're going to come down with the hard drive prices, etc. Well, it's going to become normal again. Yeah, of course it will. I also am doing my portion of this talk about Das Europa, about this German stuff. So, yeah, things would go really, really well for the Ukrainian people. Somebody have to be blamed for. And I'd be fucking damn as a Ursula von der Leyen. I don't want to be the one, Ursula says. That's what this shit is. When you see this shit next time on a stage, and it's gonna be we have young people from all over Europa. Young people, I have a group of people that are coming from Portugal and from Italy and I don't know, from the Sicily, from the Sardinia, from Calabria, from Astoria, from I don't know. I'm trying to make up some destination, maybe from Athens, maybe from what is other bring somewhere in Europe, maybe Thessaloniki, I like the name, from not from Varmland, from Sweden, but from no, I don't know what is the name of that this most northern Swedish lunar space observation point. They had me over there also in Sweden. This I don't know what it is, Kuna or something like this. I have no fucking idea what it is. Wherever the fuck you're gonna go, and she's gonna be very busy with it, always meet junge, with the young people. She's always hosting young people. Yeah, it's all about young people. Yes, of course, the future is on the young people. Think about this video a little bit also if you're young. Think about, man, should it be this way? Should you become a subject to a completely control, a total control that your government should go literally in your ass to Kiruna is the name. Sorry, not Kuna, but Kiruna. Should you be a subject to this type of euro bureaucracy, euro apparatchiks that are loaded with the money and are taking advantage literally of the best and cheapest and best and nicest, while at the same time they created a Himmel here in Europa, a fucking psychiatric Himmel, heaven, fucking psychiatric heaven, lunacy. Just a little upgraded dictatorship, complete control, crap, George Orwell, crap, democracy. Think about this stuff. You know, I watch this shit. Mac. I was thinking about this. Mac. You don't must say not this. You must not say that. If you will say this, the price will go up. We will increase the tax. You don't have to be a genius to demand more taxes. You don't have to be a smart person to do that. You just have to be a piggy a little bit more and demonstrate yourself with your capacity. Basically, you can fuck people's lives every day, even in the most miserable lives. There's always area for your lives to be fucked a little bit more, made a little bit more miserable. But don't worry about it. Just wait for the end of the Ukrainian war, and then it's gonna be. You're gonna see. It's gonna be big. Rabat. They call it the Rabat. It's gonna be a große Rabat, and you're gonna get the big discount. Über allem Europa. It's gonna be. They're gonna with those media marked stores. They're gonna be truckload you throughout Europe. They're gonna distribute. They're gonna dump you all kinds of garbage. They have prepared all that stuff, and they're gonna release a little bit of the job market, and that's just for you to come, just for you to shut the fuck up and move on. Basically, it's all ready. Think about this, then you fucking talk to me about the people, politicians, and so on. It's a scumbaggery unheard of. And yeah, it's not a coincidence. They grow mental illness, and mental illness is their main economy. Misery is the name of their German economy for the Europe. Misery. Finally, I started to understand why the people look at me strange in the US. Because I didn't have a problem with the Germans. I like Germans. But look at me fucking strange. Like, weird cookie, this guy. I am not surprised about today when I think about all those executives that were coming to the US and were bombing German executives and were just simply bombing those American stores, all these stores in the US where they had these cheap laptops and stuff like this. They were like fucking crazy, man. They're like a fucking shopping spree, this, that. Angela Merkel can tell you about that with the Ursula von der Leyen. It was a shopparade. This is interesting. It's very interesting because you know they act like, you know, in such a fine way, you know, like it's you know, it's not a big deal, you know, the money, that's normal, you know, everything is, you know, they're not really like that. All through, when you look at through them, it's a totally different picture. You see, it's a totally different picture. Those rich, wealthy people, you know. They don't make those smartphones basically for themselves. They make those smartphones, all that kind of gimmick, gap, creepy fuck. They do it for you, for the dumbos, so that you know, buy yourself more expensive, that you waste more, that you have better. It's a whole fucking industry of advertisement, of promotion, of expensive stuff like this, that stuff that you don't even need, damn it. They don't do that for themselves. They're very practical. They're very practical people. And they make sure that other people don't get mentally ill from the stuff, from the bare needs, from the stuff they fucking need. They damn sure about that stuff. They make sure also that, you know, some animals are more equal than others, and some don't even exist elsewhere than on the paper, basically on their state IDs. That's the economy for the Europe. This is what we have going on. That's what we have going on. I think this is about the best healthcare that you can be also sold. This is not a coincidence. I learned from the British Royals that in their interests was not to pay whatever they owed. It was not in their interest to pay whatever they owed. That was not in their interest. In their interest was to make it sick. In their interest was to make it sick as much as possible, and then basically offer a medicine. Yes, Prince Charles said, completely taken away, completely absorbed with these hospitals and shit, examinations and so on, all this medicine and stuff. This is the main psychiatrist in Britain is a Prince Charles, and the second one is a William, the two psychiatrists. You're gonna need more good health service than money. Yes, of course. You make somebody sick, you turn him into a patient. You believe this shit? He's gonna need more medication than the money. That's damn sure. The biggest medication, the biggest medical field they trusted to, believed in, was none other than the psychiatry. And that's exactly what the Europe is. It goes hand in hand with economy, you know. It's all part of one big picture. It's the type of democracy that is being run in this Western world. As for Donald Trump, this United States of America, this one buried American economy. This one make American economy, if anything, exposed for the entire world to see. That is not such a big deal that through the way they do this stuff, anybody can do it. Through selective psychiatric exclusions, killings, there is plenty for everybody. And that even through the selective psychiatric society, the American economy has a much larger holes in it than what one would like to admit, recognize. If anything, he made Chinese economy look great again. If anything, he demonstrated how American economy is hanging in there and how susceptible farming jobs, private companies, people, small people. He destroyed so many people. He destroyed so many business owners. He damaged the economy in so many ways with his, in a parenthesis, trade war, which was actually a gift to Vladimir Putin. Just remember, taxes are always a short, import tax is always a short solution to your problems that you have. And once these problems that you have continue to persist and you continue to increase the tax on the foreign imports, now the only thing that happens is basically you're exposing yourself for the lack of ability to match the outside technology, competition. You're lagging behind basically in competition. You're falling apart practically. That's what the Soviet Union, Yugoslavia, this is how they have fallen apart, by basically restricting, we used to have here in Yugoslavia 150% tax on cars. If you want to buy a car, you would pay, I don't know, maybe 20,000 Deutschmarks, and then you would have to pay another 20,000 Deutschmarks, and in some cases, even cut in half that you would have to give to Yugoslavia, to the Belgrade, to the Serbs. They were collecting the money, they were collecting taxes like you would not believe. Insane. This was a Yugoslavia. In the Soviet Union, maybe if you buy a foreign car, they would maybe not even think twice about getting you killed. This is crime, basically, to buy a foreign, especially some American or German or whatever brand, company, name, something like that. They fucking kill you, man. They lynch you, boy. That's exactly where you're heading. You're heading backwards. You're heading where I came from. And that's the direction that you're heading. You're making America not great again, but you are making the picture smaller and smaller and smaller, with lots of wars, I understand. War here, war there. It's also Nigeria is also, and let's see how many people are killed today in Israel. I should say not in Israel, but in Palestine. They advertised today that somebody blew himself over there, blew people in Australia. There was something like that. When you heard news like this, you know that they're going to kill a lot of people over there in Gaza, basically. That's what that is. So you can see right here, man, how many have they been killed even since the truce that had taken place 2 months ago. Month ago. How many Palestinians did they murder in between? See, this is your economy. This is where you're heading. Do this shit yourself. I mean, but this is the future. This is the type of economy we're running. This is what we have going on. This is what we have going on. This is the democracy for the world. This is the prosperity. This is the way. This is what show us the way. Well, this is the way. There's your fucking way right there. That's your Führers over there from the Brussels outlined from Washington DC. This is what Zukunft. Das ist it. That's it. That's your future. That's it. Think about when you see this shit next time appearing and giving you a good news. She's always giving you a good news. It's always a good news, and she's all worried. She's so stressed. Poor Ursula von der Leyen is so fucking poor. Sad to see her that she's so stressed out, lady. Works so hard. Poor lady. That much about this Chino-German economy with whom Germans primarily made an agreement. They based entire German industry in China. Entire auto-making industry, European automakers, all in China. Everything comes from China. Everything is China. Whether you have a computer, a Hewlett Packard, or whatever you have, everything is made in China. China. Everything is China. It's all based on agreement. Everything done in agreement. And so this is the type of economy. This is this new brave world, a global economy. This is a freedom. This is your freedom, your democracy, and you founded freedom. The World War II liberation, the Holocaust legacy. I'm not gonna piss in my pants. Go laugh somewhere about this crap. For these animals that were coming here, and I'm talking about this German garbage, I don't actually have the words for it. You know, when I think about these animals, German animals, sauerkrauts that were coming here, they wouldn't allow their children to stay one fucking day without a job. She's got 10 children, 8 children. 999. Yeah, lifelong unemployment is not a big deal. It's only a big deal for their children. Steal, lie, kill, not a problem. 9999. If it's not a problem for them, then it's a problem. Then it's a different story. This is who is running the European Union. This is what we have going on. That's what we have going on. We have absolute garbage that make even United States of America look good. And you know my opinion about America. The country eaten from within. You know it. I'm not here to defend America. I'm not here to defend United States of America. I told you what America did. But what we have inside of the European Union, oh, this is, how the fuck can I say, this is again a different kind of America. That's even more That's even more American than America. Yeah, probably the Americans have a reason to worry about. It's even worse here. And so those that are doing this shit to you in America, know it. You have no place to cry. You have no place to complain. So you too in America, think about whom you have to thank to for what you have in America.